Bring in Carla Buzasi of the Huffington Post. Presumably a website like yours would stand to be the winner if this ends up being the final death knell for the newspapers.
Possibly. I mean, when the News of the World closed last year, which was literally the week that we launched, lots of people came and said, well, there you are, you've got a whole new audience that are going to log onto your website. That's not how I see it at all. Certainly at the moment, people are buying their newspapers, but they're also getting news from websites and they're using the two together. I think it would be very sad if we saw the demise of all the sort of newspaper brands that we've grown up with, that we love in this country. Websites like the Huffington Post and others that I'm sure will launch in the years to come are, this is where the media is going, it's the future of it. But lots of these publications have got digital arms as well, which are really important to the future of their businesses.
And becoming increasingly important. Phil Hall is the old-fashioned newspaper.
I think
how much trouble is it in?
I agree with Carla. I think and the internet will take it up and run with it. I think the bigger problem that newspapers have now is breaking any big story. I was talking to people that sometimes we produce one story every 3 months. But it takes time and resources.
So it's a fatal decline then? I mean,
I think you've got to allow the new digital age to run as people
who put it there. And
the foreign journalism, the investigative journalism, Carla Buzasi, that is something that really has been the domain of the newspapers. I mean, the Huffington Post, for instance, isn't known for investigative journalism at the moment.
Well, I think certainly in the UK we're a very small operation at the moment, but looking at the US arm, which has hundreds of journalists, we've had people in Syria, we've had people in Greece, and I think that newspaper or internet newspaper sites like ours, as we grow, as we build a reputation, that absolutely is an area that we need to play in, because people are coming to us and expecting us to break those kind of stories.
Is that the future, Phil Hall? Are they the ones who will pick up the slack?
I think so. I mean, I think it's developed that where you can access Huffington Post, Facebook, Twitter, and a newspaper all on the same page. And so I think it will develop, but newspapers have got to develop with it.
But this model that News International very successfully ran was that the News of the World was known for scoops, was known for investigative journalism. The Sun not so much, but they cross-subsidise the other parts.
Well, you've got to
of
understand
the
that
empire.
Murdoch's passion.
And to save them tax breaks. This is one of the things the House of Lords Committee was suggesting today. How would you feel about that, Carla Buzasi?
I think, looking at that again, digital had been totally forgotten. They hadn't thought about the websites at all. And I think, there were some interesting things in what came out of the House of Lords today. But they've got to acknowledge that digital is a large part of the media industry in this country at the moment, and it's going to be even bigger going forwards. And I don't think tax breaks to local newspapers are the answer.
A successful newspaper industry has to remain independent, and tax breaks to me are
Thank you. Now, a storm erupted on Twitter and Facebook last night after a job advert emerged offering a night shift position at a Tesco in Suffolk. The pay was listed as job seekers allowance plus expenses, which would be pretty cheap for permanent staff. Tesco later admitted that it had made a mistake and that the job was